Hello, everyone. So, with Gargora's graduation and leaving of Hololive, a lot of people have started talking about just how toxic some of these VTuber corporations can be. And it's raised the conversation to a point where some people who don't usually talk about this sort of thing have decided to talk about this sort of thing again. However, today we are going to be watching Tectone talk about it. Now, I'm not the most knowledgeable on this sort of thing. I'm a very small creator right now. I was only a VTuber for a very small amount of time, and I have since elected to reveal my beautiful flesh. And so, we are going to be listening to the baldest of baldies talking about this because he's much more well informed than me. We're going to be weighing in. We're going to be seeing things. Just let's see what happens, right? And if he starts saying some crazy shit, we'll adapt.
Linked a video, and it says the perspective from an honest Hollow Live member about Cover being a black company or not. So here's the issue. I have made a career of saying the things that other people are too uncomfortable to say.
Yes, and this is allowed because, and here's the thing: Tectone would not have succeeded doing that if he was physically attractive. He wouldn't have. Because if you're physically attractive, people want to like you. And if you're physically less attractive, people want to dislike you. He was able to make a career being disliked by a lot of the major people. But because he's saying the truth, people started liking him based on the truth. If he was attractive, that would not have succeeded because it was like, oh my god, he's such a piece of shit, and then just like nobody cares about what he's got to say because he's too hot to be telling the truth. Because he's bald, he can do this. I could never.
Kiara's great. Gura's great. I don't watch either of their content. I'm not going to pretend that I do. I saw Kiara make some funny chicken noises. I saw Gargura say, ah, I thought it was funny.
Also, I didn't watch any Garguru's content. The first time I ever saw her content was her singing "Let's Go to the Dodgers" because that shit was awesome. But I didn't know about her, and I know that she's awesome.
I don't really care. It's not really about them.
Was.
It's kind of about the positions that they're in. And I think this is important to talk about because you have people on the internet who want to tell me that I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's silly. Tectone has been around VTubers since the very beginning. He was a gotcha content creator. 90% of gotcha creators are VTubers. Most are men, but the successful ones are chicks. And some of the men who are successful use female avatars and voice changers.
You have people on the internet who say that Asmongold don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, is that why he's always right? Like, seriously. I fucking hate the fact that Asmongold is right as much as anybody else, but he's fucking right a lot of the times.
And I think this is so dangerous. And the reason why this is because obviously Gargura said that she left, her words verbatim were, there was a disagreement with management and the company.
I'll be honest, that video weirded me out a lot because it was still very in character. Just the way she was portraying things and saying things, it felt like she was staying in character more so than she was trying to get the information out and explaining things to people. And that kind of weirded me out a bit. But at the same time, yes, she absolutely said the things that she said, and I think she was being genuine about that. It's just like I don't know, man. Some of these some VTubers just don't vibe with me. I understand why people like them, and I have massive respect for them. It's just not for me, right? But yeah, she absolutely said that it was because of differences of opinion, and that is basically corporate speak for motherfuckers with motherfucking, and I don't want to deal with it anymore.
And that's what she said. And that's enough of a
And that's probably why I'm never going to be in a big corporation because I'll be talking like this.
nugget to really expand upon the issues with VTuber agencies and companies as a whole. Now, obviously, I would love to listen to Callie. I would love to listen to Kiara. But let me ask you a question, guys. Are both of them still in Hololive? Yes. And I'm glad we all know that. I know that, of course.
Yeah, and that's a problem if you're going to criticize a company as a black company, because if they really were a black company, then they would just fire you on the spot for saying that. At the same time, it could just be a sort of PR move by the company to go, hey, go say these things about us that people already kind of know, because this way we will look better since we allowed you to say it. Right? It's weird PR moves that a little convoluted, but it works. So
But you shouldn't expect anybody to give valid criticisms when they're a part of that organization,
also
when they
this.
are, just to give an example, sponsored. If someone's sponsored to play Raid Shadow Legends, it's not really in their best interest to give good, constructive feedback and criticism
I'll be out here saying shit like, yeah, it's okay for a mobile game.
while they're in that because it can fuck them over very, very, very hard.
Yeah.
I'm going to speak from an outside perspective, and I'm only going to tell you the truth. And these are things that you can look into for yourself. I'm going to do you guys a favor and just kind of talk why I think VTuber agencies are fucking terrible and why they're fucking horrible.
Why does he have so many shakers? I just noticed. Like I've been like focused on this side, and I've now looked over here. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then a can. Is that hot sauce? Another can and a cup. Bro, how much do you drink?
And I'm just going to list you guys some facts. And if any, and once again, if any VTuber would like to tell
Actually,
me
is that
why I'm
piss?
wrong, you're more than welcome to.
Probably not.
However, to give you guys some little bit of credentials for why the fuck my opinion matters, I have brought many VTubers many opportunities to grow as content creators. About a year to 2 years ago, I was known as the VTuber guy,
Mm-hmm.
kind of up there with what's his name? There's this white dude that talks to every VTuber. What's his fucking name? Nags? Yeah,
No,
like
it's not.
Nags. But then unfortunately, a woman wanted to ruin my life, and now it's not good for me to get any VTubers involved in drama.
Yeah.
And this is what
Yeah. The thing with Tectone is that every year something's gonna pop off. Somebody's gonna start some shit with him. I say every year, but like every few months, somebody's gonna start some shit with him, and everybody's gonna just act as if he either started it or he's guilty by default. And so far, I've yet to see any amount of evidence of him being guilty of any of the things that he's been accused of. So I'll just assume he's not guilty until there's evidence.
the important thing to note about VTubers are VTubers cannot get into drama. They cannot.
Yeah.
They cannot.
Unless they specifically make their content about that. But the problem with VTubers is very much the idol culture thing, where people just expect perfection from a lot of VTubers, especially the glamorous and the cute ones. Where as soon as you start any amount of drama, you're now problematic, and now people don't want to watch your content because they watch your content to relax, to chill out, and like completely escape from reality and not have to worry about anything and pretend like you're their girlfriend. And as soon as you get into any amount of drama, now you're not giving them that, and now they don't want anything to do with you.
If you're a VTuber and you get into drama, you are fucked. You will be excommunicated, you will be blacklisted, and no one will communicate with you whatsoever. Every VTuber needs to go live with a happy face, say that everything's fine, everything's dandy, unless the drama they're going to bring up is for sympathy to bait people into giving them more super chats. That is the truth. The majority of VTuber drama happens behind the scenes because creators know if they bring that drama to the forefront on stream, they're going to be fucked in their career. Because none of these people want to deal with drama. They just don't. And I would love to know a counterpoint to that. The majority
There is no counterpoint, it's just true.
of VTuber drama is dealt from behind the scenes because that's kind of how it goes. Now, let me address the two tweets that Asmongold and I put out, which is this. I put out many. I'm going to read them all in full, leave out zero context, and then I'll address the counterpoints. So, if anyone is shocked by Gura's decision to leave Hololive and her main reason is due to company's direction, y'all need to understand how shit VTuber orgs are. Ownership of identity, predatory cuts of revenue. It's insane how VTubers want to lock into VTuber organizations to begin with. Things need to change. VTubers deserve better.
it's insane to me that you will come to a company with your own avatar, you'll sign a contract for your avatar, you'll join them, you'll do work for them, and then a year later, when that contract ends, they get to keep your avatar, which you made popular. Sometimes they give you the avatar, sometimes they take your avatar. And I think that that is crazy work. And it literally is for the express purpose of either passing off the avatar to somebody else, which they never do, as far as I know, or it's just to prevent you from continuing to succeed without them. It is literally them trying to cut your legs off so you don't run off. And I don't see how anybody can look at that and not think, wow, that's terrible. I'm not signing that. But people want to follow their dreams, and a lot of people aren't willing to put in years of unrewarded work to follow a passion, and they'd rather just hit the button to succeed temporarily and then hope to take off from there. Unfortunately, by doing that, they end up destroying their passion for the craft, and yeah, they regret it in the end.
If you're wondering how anybody took offense to that, well, that's because people are retarded.
Yes.
Asmongold follows up by saying, compared to traditional orgs and streaming agencies, VTuber-centric orgs are often exploitive, to say the least. They seem to be a vestigial function of idol management groups in primarily Japan, so I hope it will keep dying as VTubers realize they have other options now.
Yep, it's all about idol culture.
These VTuber orgs need to understand that the VTubers make the org, not the other way around. I follow up to say, guys, Gura will be fine. She's an amazingly talented VTuber. And
Oh yeah, everybody thinking that, oh my god, Gargura is over, like she's never gonna stream again. Like, guys, she's gonna keep streaming most likely. She's a fucking millionaire. She hasn't fallen off. People still like watching her content. She is still entertaining. She is still fun. She still sings. She still does all of this stuff. She is the exact same person. The only thing that is gone is Hololive. This is 100% positive for Gura. Like, let's not fucking kid ourselves. The only reason she would stop is if she wants to. And I doubt she does. She's making so much money. She spent 90% of that video glazing her viewers. She clearly enjoys what she does. She clearly enjoys her community. She just didn't want to have to deal with Hololive anymore. And she had to portray it in, like Techie said, a sympathetic fashion. Otherwise, she fucks herself over in the long term. This way, she comes off looking nice. She does the sympathy thing. All the other VTubers can talk about it. They can all be positive about it. They can all be like, oh my god, Gargura, I love you so much. And I'm going to stay in Hololive, though. I'm going to stay in Hololive. And eventually Hololive will come up with some reason why you're a terrible person, and I'll have to go with them. But I love you so much, Gargura. And that's kind of just what you have to do. But she's absolutely going to keep working.
streamer, one of the most.
It's probably just going to be as a most likely a different VTuber because of what we just talked about, right? Like how the VTuber is actually owned by the company, and so she needs a new avatar. Go figure.
Subscribe VTubers of all time. Hopefully, this will lead to more VTubers leaving big corporations that were taking massive cut of their earnings. VTubers make the.
Also, yeah, that's also a thing. Like, she'll probably, let's assume that her viewership gets cut in half for like a few months. She'll probably still be making more money.
Orgs, not the other way around. Support independent VTubers. Let's go again, once again. Final note for now, if Guru is saying it's bad for her, you need to understand that it's even worse for lesser known VTubers in the Hololive's roster. Those who don't have the massive outreach and popularity that she does, again, support independent VTubers. Now, I am going to tell you guys some truths.
Not the truth. We can't handle the truth.
And these are truths that the companies don't want you to know about. Will I get in trouble? Man, I sure hope not. So
almost certainly not. Like Techie's entire thing right now, he's not a part of any major organization since he left OTK. He doesn't have that many dependents on him. His chat and community is almost entirely built around him telling the truth and being honest with them, and they follow him because of that. Yeah, he's not going to get in any trouble. Like, the more backlash he gets from other VTubers and corporations for saying stuff that everybody knows is true, the better for him. So yeah, he's not going to get in any trouble for this.
Out of plausible deniability for myself, I will not mention any specific company that does
Obviously.
this. But feel free to ask your streamers what their companies demand of them. I am going to peel back the curtain and I am going to let you guys know some things I've never admitted on stream.
Okay.
About 3 years ago, I was approached by a content organization. This is not OTK.
I mean, yeah, because you accepted the OTK deal, right? So if you're bringing this up, it's because it's gonna be a very bad contract, right?
This is not OTK.
Okay.
That offered me $12,000 a month.
Aren't you making like 10 times that much already?
To merely be in their org and rep their organization. They said they would help me with any of my content for free as long as I said I was a part of their organization. I turned this down. Now, you might ask me why I turned this down, and that is because
12K is not enough money for somebody of his size at the time.
I went and I got an offer from another group of streamers called OTK. OTK offered me to join their organization. I'm not going to say how much, but I was paid an amount much smaller than that, because I wasn't really joining the org to build it. I knew that OTK could build me up. No strings attached. Just say I'm part of the org, do content with them. I get paid X amount of dollars. It wasn't really that crazy just to be a part of the org. And I will say, full disclosure, I loved this org so much. I said, I'd rather just join for free. I don't need money.
Yep. Probably should still be getting paid because then if you don't get paid, you fuck over smaller creators.
I do not need it. I would just be proud to be a part of your organization. And I
People are saying offline TV. Probably not the thing that he can clarify. He probably can't do that.
was for
Contracts
around
are
3 years because
sketchy
I
like that.
loved everybody in that org. I mean, majorly just Asmongold, just to be completely honest. But the other creators were pretty cool. I mean, I saw a couple Seer videos back when he used to do shit with Onision. S-Fan seemed like a pretty nice guy. Rich Campbell used to be in my chat all the time, and he played gotcha games. And Miskiff seemed funny.
Why is everybody giving Miskiff shit? Like, I get it. He's not my type of content all that much, and he's always in fucking drama, and he mostly lives off of collabs and shit like that. So anytime that he's in some amount of big drama where he does something that people get mad at him for, his content tanks because he can't get into collabs. But damn.
You know what I mean? I had no idea who the fuck Nick was. But yeah, I joined, and what they did was anything I ever needed, they
Yeah.
said, we'll help you. Anything I was ever struggling with, they said, we'll help you. And I had opportunities to collab with other creators that I would have never had the opportunity to collab with, ever. Now, let me tell you what VTuber agencies do.
Okay.
Y'all ready for this?
So he was offered 12K for one, which I thought was not that much considering his size at the time. Maybe he was a lot smaller than he is now. But I think he was a lot smaller, but I don't think he was that much smaller, right? Because we're talking 3 years ago, we're talking 2022, we're talking post-COVID. So at this point, he's already gotten his Genshin boom. Yeah, I don't know. 12K is a lot of money. I'll say that. 12K is a lot of money. But I don't know if it's the type of numbers that somebody of his size would be getting or should be getting, right? Apparently OTK offered him less, but he accepted that. So I don't know. Let's take a look at what he says now, because what he says now is going to make those 12K look insane.
Y'all ready for this? Yeah. Y'all gonna be mad as shit. Cause I'ma just
I already know some of the stuff that he's going to be saying here, and I already know I'm going to be surprised by some other stuff, and I'm going to be upset.
say it. And you guys can figure out what companies I'm talking about.
Oh boy.
So here's what's fun. You join a VTubing agency and they say, oh yeah, your identity, we own it. If you ever leave, you lose your identity. Let's go even further.
Yeah, imagine if you, as a streamer, you leave an org. Imagine if Tectone leaving OTK meant he had to give them his Twitch channel and his YouTube channel, all of that stuff. He has to give them all back. Imagine that. That's what we're talking about here.
Let's go even further. Oh yeah, your sub revenue, your merch revenue, we get between 20 to 50%. Guys, there are some creators where they don't get any percent. Yep. They say, well, you need to pay us back for us making you. So
Yeah.
you don't get any percent. You want to know why? Because Japan idol culture normalized that.
I think we've all seen that video of the girl getting eggs thrown at her because she was caught having a boyfriend. This is because they found out she had a boyfriend. And so they had to publicly humiliate her, throw eggs at her, pour water on her, and if I'm not mistaken, they forced her to break up with the guy. Yeah.
Yep. Japan's idol culture normalized that.
All I'm going to say is there's a reason that Japan has one of the highest suicidality rates of any fucking country. They do not respect the human spirit. They do not respect people whatsoever.
Because these companies want to say, well, we made you. So,
Like, straight up, these are people whose job is to be happy, essentially. And for whatever reason, rather than making their life a little bit more comfortable, it's like, yeah, make your money, pretty little person. It's like, yeah, make money for you and make money for us, and we can all be happy. No, instead they have to make that person absolutely miserable, put so many goddamn rules on their existence that this person cannot exist, basically.
you owe us. Yep. And you know what everybody else in these orgs say? Well, I do it and it's fine. I'm just happy to be a creator. Normal streaming orgs pay you money to be in it. VTuber streaming orgs demand money from you for it. Now, I will say, of all of the VTuber orgs, I would just like to say VShojo's probably the least bad.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard any like major drama out of VShojo. But then again, their main creator is a feisty Latina. I don't think they would survive if they tried some bullshit on her. And I don't think that they would survive if she found out that they tried some bullshit on her, right? So I definitely haven't heard anything about VShojo being this bad, but Hololive, Nijisanji, all these other ones, it's every other month.
Because at least you get to keep your identity. And I think that is so important.
Yes.
I think that is so important. Now, I'm not going to say they're not doing other things that are bad, but I would say kudos to them for at least allowing.
Kudos to them for bare minimum. You know? Like, at least they're doing the bare fucking minimum. You know? Like, at least that much they're doing. The bare minimum.
Your VTubers to keep their identity. Thank God. We've done the bare minimum, boys. We've done the bare minimum. And you know what's crazy? These people are so fucking dumb. There are even people in my chat saying that goes everywhere.
Yep.
Like legit. Hold up.
That's
there's
like
more.
a bad
There's more.
insurance.
I saw another guy. Okay.
Question mark.
Brother.
Yeah.
It's not our fault that you don't get it.
Yeah.
It is not our fault that you don't get it. And if you don't understand that these streamers who go live every day and stream for 8, 10 hours, getting their money taking away from them, getting their identity taken away from them, that is not a good thing at all. Because then these people, they become like pseudo slaves.
Pseudo slaves? What the fuck do you mean pseudo slaves? Some of these people aren't getting paid. That is the definition of a slave. Like, you are doing unpaid labor. What do you mean? Like, if you're not getting paid and you are working for them, there's nothing pseudo about it.
Where they become terrified to ever leave. Besides ones who are so big that they can live and make a name for themselves elsewhere, like the Kaisans, like the Guras, who can afford to leave, make a new identity, and know their viewership are still there. Oh, here's a great one. You're partially wrong. Okay.
Nah, Hololive was made by VTubers. Now Holo is better. Identity doesn't matter. You will earn more money in Holo. Identity doesn't matter. Okay. Okay. Mr. Eugene K. Live your life without your name. Just give your name to somebody else. Your credentials, just give them to somebody else. Credit card, somebody else. Identity doesn't matter, right? That's what we're talking about here, right? Just whoop.
Go ahead. Nah, Holo's better. Identity doesn't matter. You will earn more money in Holo. Okay. I'm gonna explain this to you one more time. And I'm gonna hope that you get it. And I'm gonna say this and hopefully that you can understand this.
Holo dick sucker.
No content org should have the right to take your identity. No content org should have the right to take your earnings for just being a part of their org. The girls earned that.
Yeah.
They earned it.
It's theirs.
We don't need this shit where they're taking 20%.
Not to mention, it's like I said, it's not like they're going to give it to someone else. No, they are doing it specifically to cripple you and prevent you from continuing to go off on your own. That's it. That's the only reason. They just don't want you to feel as if you can just walk away from them and their shitty fucking practices at any moment. Because if you could, you would.
40%, 60% in perpetuity. And if you ever leave, your identity is gone.
Yep.
If you can't understand why that's bad, I don't know what to tell you. And the problem is,
just don't join that org then. Okay. Yeah, just don't make money. Right? Just don't make any money at all. Ever. Because here's the thing, right? 99% of people who do... Tectone says 99.99999. No, it's not. If you just look at the statistics, it's not that bad. It's 99%. 99% of people don't fucking make it. Why? Right? 90% of the time, it's because you just don't got it in you. You start for a bit, you start succeeding, you start getting a little bit more hate because it happens, right? You get one or two of your YouTube videos where every fucking comment is shitting on you and you go, I can't take this, and you quit, right? 90% of the time, that's what happens. And then the other, 10%, or I guess 9% of people who try and fail, those people don't have the means, right? Whether it be monetary to invest, whether it be just charisma, they lack the charisma. Why did I say charisma like that? I guess I wanted to say charismatic. They're not charismatic enough, but they lack the charisma. They lack the, I guess, intelligence to create the type of content that they want to make, or skill set, whatever you want to call it. Like, I'm not saying you have to be super smart to do this. You're just like sitting and talking to a camera, but you have to be intelligent enough to understand the type of content that you want to make and to understand the type of identity that you want to put out there. And some people just can't figure that out. It happens, right? Some of those people make it specifically because they get an organization to support them, to back them. Right? Because the organization gives them that little boost to get them off the ground, to get them from 0 viewers to like 10 or 50, 10 to 50, sometimes 100. That is the boost that a lot of the people who end up failing and, falling off need, because they're stuck at 3, 5 viewers. But they're entertaining. They're good. But nobody watches their content because they have 3 to 5 viewers, so nobody gives a shit, right? You go there, the chat is dead, the person's talking to themselves, and yeah, kind of sad, you just leave. You don't want to sit there. But as soon as they have 10 to 20 people there, and the chat starts popping off, people start talking, it starts being fun, it starts being engaging. As soon as the organization gives them the backing and they can guarantee those 10 to 20 viewers, a lot of these creators who would normally have failed out of they would have washed out of the hobby, they would have washed out of this profession, all of a sudden, they pick up. And people go, oh my god, this person's awesome. I love this person's commentary. I love the way this person talks. I love the way I interact with them. And so they go from 10 to 20 to 50 to 100 to 200. And they keep growing like that, right? As soon as they get a little bit of help, and that's what these organizations provide. They provide that little boost for a lot of these lesser creators. And when I say lesser, I'm specifically talking about viewership, not like worse or whatever. That's not the judgment I'm making here. But these organizations exist specifically to help the creator, not to prey on them. And that's the problem of these VTuber organizations, these idol management companies, and all of this other garbage. Because they take something that is created specifically to help the creator, get out there, get in front of the audience, help them be discovered, so that you, the viewer, can then go and choose which one you like the most, so you can have your pick of the litter. And instead, they prey on the creators. That's what's happening. That's why this is problematic. That's why this needs to be combated. That's why this needs to be talked about. That's why I'm reacting to this. That's why I'm using Bald Man over here to talk about this, because he's a lot more knowledgeable about this stuff than me. I know the basics. He knows a lot more. He's interacted with so many people. He's helped so many people get in front of these organizations. And he always warns them, hey, this is going to be a shitty fucking experience for you. You are going to be taken advantage of. So, get your licks in, get your money, and then get the fuck out.
Is that for the smaller creators who won't have that resurgence once they leave, and they think they'll be fucked, that fear keeps them in there forever.
Yep.
It does. It keeps them in there forever. It's terrible. It is. You get into any drama behind the scenes
Gone.
and you're booted out. There's no security. It's fucked up. Now, unfortunately, it's not your guys' fault. Case in point, the Doki Bird situation. Yeah, but you don't. Dude, but here's the thing about Doki Bird, man. That happened 3 months ago, and the internet has already forgotten about that.
Yeah. Yeah. 2 weeks later, nobody cares. Nobody gives a shit. The algorithm's forgotten you. You can no longer get views talking about it. Nobody wants to hear about it. It's the same thing that happened with Mr. Beast, right? Mr. Beast was caught hiring pedophiles and sex offenders. 2 weeks later, nobody gives a shit because he's still making good content. People still want to watch his content. So yeah, that's the end of that, right? Nobody cares. The internet doesn't care. No one. It doesn't matter how virtuous you are. If your content is dog shit, or if there's no content whatsoever, no one cares. And if your content is just talking about this one bad thing, yeah, absolutely, you will get fewer viewers over time because people will stop caring. And as people stop caring, people don't want to hear about it anymore.
Yeah, you don't get it. That was 3 months ago, and the internet just says, oh, I don't remember it.
Yeah.
I don't remember it, so it didn't happen. But you guys need to understand that these VTuber orgs are fucking shit. They're terrible. And they should not be celebrated.
The only reason, and by the way, the only reason VShojo is able to be better is because they don't work with up-and-coming creators. They work with awesome creators. They work with stars. They work with Iron Mouses. They work with, who was that Roach chick who with like 1,000 viewers on Twitch? I forget her name. But like they work with people who are already there. They don't work with 10, 20, 50 viewer Andys. They don't care about those. They work with the big names.
And the problem is that so much responsibility and so much expectations lie on these.
Doesn't the company make and commission the model for the VTubers, or is it them who pay for that? The company commissions them. The company essentially funds the creation of the model, right? The company kind of call it an investment, right? The company is okay suffering a monetary loss at the start because they know that over time that monetary loss is going to be lessened and eventually they're going to start making a lot of money off of these people. And the problem comes when they want more than their share. Because even a monkey understands when it's being fucked over, right? And everybody agrees that these corporations are fucking over the creators. Yes, you are paying for the model. Okay. You are not paying for the identity. You paid for the model. You can say, hey, this model that we paid for, it's ours. By the way, do you want to know what happens if you go work for a big company and they give you a laptop to do your work? They let you keep the laptop most of the time. Straight up, they say, oh yeah, we don't want that. We're not going to use it. It's yours. We don't care. We don't know what you put in there. It's out of our network. Just turn it in. We'll like take out the stuff that we put in there. We'll like fully reset it so you don't get out of here with any company information. And yeah, here, keep the laptop. We don't care. It's what, fucking 800 bucks? We don't care. Keep it. It's nothing for them. It's a corporation, multi-billion dollar. They don't care. They don't want that. It would literally just you would be turning in an electronic for them to destroy. And it's the same thing with the VTuber models. They have no value for them. The same thing with the name. The same thing with the channel. Without the creator, none of that stuff has any value. So yes, they paid for it. That doesn't mean they should get to keep it because it's not for them. It's for you, the creator.
Independent VTubers to join these orgs when in reality, people should just be happier that girls can be independent. But the other problem is there's a lot of VTuber orgs that say you're only gonna do content with your org members.
Oh yeah, that's awful.
And so a lot of people want to join these orgs to have collaborations with these VTubers that they respect and look up to, and then they realize, oh fuck, I fell on the net. Now I'm fucked too.
Yep.
And it sucks. But forcing collaborations, taking a cut of their revenue, and taking your identity when you leave, if your company has any of these, I think you're a shit company.
Yep.
Now, you can tell me why I'm wrong. And I want
And you'd be wrong to say so.
to say, I think it's an absolutely fair point when people say, well, Techie, if smaller creators join this company and they get a career just because they're a part of this, then the company should get a cut of their earnings. And if that's the case, sure, I absolutely agree.
Yeah, shouldn't be 50%.
Yeah, if they weren't going to be anything without these companies, yeah, sure, it's the least they can do. However, having a permanent revenue split in perpetuity, that's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like, let's say we work it like this. You join, you get your model, you get your identity, you get your reach, you get your collabs, right? Okay. At the start, 20 to 50% of your subs, of all that stuff goes to the company. 20 to 50, right? That means that you take a 30% cut for Twitch and a 20% to 50% cut for your org. Also, your org is paying you a set salary a lot of these times. And then, after 6 months, I think it's usually 6 months. Sometimes it's 4, sometimes it's 3. Depends on your contract, right? And then after that set time, we see, okay, how well are you doing? Let's renegotiate. Let's see, okay, you're doing well enough that we can cut down on this because we've already made some of our money back on you. Or, hey, we haven't really made any of our money back on you yet, so, our contract's going to stay the same. But eventually, when you take a new person and that person pops the fuck off and they get 50, 100, 200, 300, 1,000 viewers sometimes, you don't get to fucking hold that over them anymore. You've made your money. You've made more than your money back. You don't need that 50% revenue split anymore. You want it because you're greedy. That's it. So at this point, no, that person would have been huge without you. That person could have started streaming with a shitty little fucking webcam and a VTuber model that they stole off of fucking Google Images, and they would have fucking cooked. But instead, they're with you and they're getting robbed. So, no, this is not fair. You should not get that much revenue out of them. And I absolutely think that some amount of legislation should be put in place to prevent this sort of exploitation. And in a lot of places it is. The only reason it's not is because this is alternative media, and not a lot of people are super well informed on this.
And you'll never change my mind on that. Case in point, and TLDR, I would just like VTubers to be treated like regular streamers. When a regular non-VTuber streamer joins an org, they get money and they get assistance. When a VTuber joins an organization, they lose money and they even lose their identity.
And half the time they don't get
You
assistance.
will never make that make sense to me. It's bullshit. It's predatory. And everybody fucking knows it. And let me tell you something even worse. There's a VTuber, and I'm not going to say who it is, that was
I mean, people are going to know.
being paid $500 at 3,000 CCV.
$500 at 3,000 CCV. What? If you're getting 3,000, I want you guys to understand this. There are Hollywood celebrities who can't do that. There are Hollywood celebrities that if they went live every day, they would not get that much. Kanye West made his own Twitch stream. He doesn't get 3,000 CCV. He's a multimillionaire. All right? That's what we're talking about here. This is bullshit. $500. $3,000 viewers.
For an energy drink company that I was being paid for $10,000 at 3,000 CCV. Same concurrent viewership, a factor of 20.
Yeah.
I was being paid more than. And you want to know why? Because they said VTubers get weird when you talk about financial stuff. VTubers get weird about money, so we just don't talk about it. So I didn't know I was getting fucked. And they got locked into that contract for over 2 years. Guys, they lost over $200,000 from that deal.
Jesus, 2 years. 2 years getting paid 500 when the actual rate for somebody of that size is 10K. Wow. I'm glad I quit being a VTuber, like straight up. Like the drama was getting insane, right? Like I followed a bunch of VTubers. The drama is ridiculous. It's like a bunch of fucking chickens, right? Oh, that one's bleeding. Kill it. Kill that one. Get him. It's like it's always the same shit. That was all that my Twitter was for the few months where I was a full-on VTuber and I wanted to be a VTuber. And then I was like, fuck this. And by the way, the moment that I started doing face cam shit, a lot of those people just straight up blocked me. We had no further interaction. Nothing. They just blocked me. Also, a lot of those VTubers are now in protected and they're no longer streaming, even though they were much bigger than me and had not been going for as long as I had. But it's like, the community is terrible.
They lost over $200,000. And that is why I try to help anybody that I know, friend or not, to get into Mythic Talent, a talent agency that actually treats their VTubers and their creators fucking well.
I've been trying to get into a bunch of different orgs that I hear have good ratings. I think I don't know that I've tried into Mythic. I'll see. I'll have to check that out.
It is so important to be able to talk about serious issues. It is so important to talk about money. I don't know why this upsets anybody. I don't know why this makes people think that I'm grifting.
Oh, because people are stupid.
I have been talking about the
It
proper treatment of VTubers for well over 3 fucking years. There's a reason why I help Mythic Talent so much. I was the guy who connected the agents to the VTubers, and I'm sure there is well over I think about like what 112 just VTubers of how I've gotten them not even into Mythic, just into agencies in general. Because as much as I love Mythic, it's not a perfect fit for everybody. It's not. But I make sure I connect creators to the proper agency, to the proper investor, to the proper tax guy as much as I possibly fucking can, because I don't like seeing creators get fucked over. So, yes, while this may not necessarily be
His table is shaking so goddamn much.
about Gura, she will be fine. This is more about the companies themselves, and
Yeah.
I don't think that companies treat their VTubers well. And that's just the truth. Feel free to prove me wrong, but I'm going to be real. If you're going to somebody who's inside these companies to ask for their opinion on how the
Oh
company's
yeah,
being
obviously they're gonna give you a heavily biased opinion because they have to. It's either that or they get fired.
run, and you don't think that would get them into shit for speaking truthfully, well, you're just wrong. Why don't you do this? If you don't trust me, why don't you just ask some people who have left these VTuber organizations how they feel? And I bet you the response will be, I don't feel comfortable talking about this. So, yes, I am attempting to say the things they can't say. I am attempting to be the voice of the voiceless. And it would be pretty nice to not get so much pushback for merely telling the truth. Hope this helps.
Yeah, I think that this is an important topic to talk about, right? Because if you don't talk about this shit, people just get taken advantage of. And if you let people get taken advantage of, you're as responsible as the people who are doing the taking advantage of. It's one of those things. It's look, it's like Spider-Man says, right? If the bad things happen and you have the power to stop the bad things from happening, then the bad things happen because of you. God, the MCU is trash at writing. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed that. Let me know what you guys think below. You know, if you are, let me know if you're pro corpo or if not, if you're pro people, I guess. But anyway, that's it. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Cheers.